Hello there, very good evening and welcome to Primetime News on TV1 for the Newsfirst, where the people come first. I'm Martin Satyanesan.
And I'm Thiruni Karunaratna. Here are tonight's top stories. Talks continue with US officials on further easing of tariffs. SM remanded again. Court dates set for bribery cases against Chandrani and Kehelia. Rajita's bail request rejected. Harin Fernando summoned to Bribery Commission to testify in investigation. Vehicle loan ratios revised.
On to those stories in detail. A fresh round of discussions between US officials and a Sri Lankan delegation regarding American tariff regulations is scheduled to take place today. According to Deputy Minister of Economic Development, Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando, the meeting will be held virtually via Zoom.
This dialogue follows the recent initiation of a process aimed at further reducing the 30% tariff currently imposed by the United States on Sri Lankan exports. Dr. Fernando noted that a significant exchange of data has already taken place between the two parties under this initiative. Today's meeting will feature a Sri Lankan delegation led by Dr. Harshana Surya Peruma, Secretary to the Ministry of Finance. This discussion is being coordinated by the Sri Lankan Embassy in the United States. He further stated that the government hopes to successfully conclude negotiations for a trade agreement between Sri Lanka and the United States before the 1st of August. Brazilian President Lula da Silva has said that his country will not take instructions from the United States after US President Donald Trump threatened Brazil with 50% tariffs and called for an end to the trial of right-wing ally Jair Bolsonaro. In an interview with CNN on Thursday, President Lula said that the tariffs have no logic, but that he does not believe there is a crisis in relations between the United States and his country as of yet.
What does it feel like to be slapped with a 50% tariff by the United States, the world's biggest economy?
Well, for me, it was a surprise, not only the value of that tariff, but also how it was announced, the way it was announced. I think we're lacking a little bit of multilateralism on President Trump's mindset, and he knows that a problem of this sort, it is solved in a bargaining table, around the bargaining table. So what do we see? We were negotiating with the U.S. already for some months. My foreign affairs minister, the vice president of the Republic, which is also the Minister for Industry and Development and Commerce, were negotiating. And since March, we've sent a proposal to the U.S. government. After 10 meetings, we sent a proposal on May the 16th saying what we wanted and what was a possible for us to reach an agreement. For our surprise, instead of a response to the letter that we sent, we received the news published in the President Trump's site. It was not a letter sent officially by diplomatic means. I think it was a mistake, a big mistake, because the letter that President Trump is full of things that are not true. First of all, the justice system in Brazil is independent. The President of the Republic cannot interfere in the judicial branch of power. Second is that the trade deficit that is not true. The United States in the last 15 has a surplus of $410 billion vis-a-vis Brazil. And thirdly, if we're going to charge big tax in Brazil, that's a problem of the Brazilian government. If we charge a high tax and they don't agree, we can establish a negotiation with the government. This is how the world works with multilateralism. That's how the world trade works and how Brazil acts. What we cannot have is a President Trump forgetting that he was elected to govern the U.S. He was elected not to be the emperor of the world. It would be much better to establish a negotiation first and then to reach the possible agreement, because we're two countries that we had very good meetings and we have good relations for 200 years. And so he's breaking away from any protocol, any liturgy that should exist between the relations between two heads of state. It was very unpleasant.
The US president's heavy-handed approach to economic relations with other countries has chuffed foreign leaders such as Lula, who has expressed frustration at what he sees as Trump's efforts to dictate terms to Brazil on matters of trade and domestic judicial proceedings. Bolsonaro, the former president of Brazil, who has close ties with Trump and his family, is currently on trial for alleged efforts to mount a coup and reverse Lula's victory over him in the 2022 election. Trump, who also faced legal trouble stemming from his efforts to remain in office after losing an election, has called the trial a witch hunt and demanded that it come to an end. He has recently done the same for another right-wing ally, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
The Central Bank of Sri Lanka has taken steps to revise the percentage of loan facilities provided based on the value of vehicles. The revision applies to vehicles that are unregistered and have been in use for less than a year after first registration.
According to the new amendments, vehicles used for commercial purposes can obtain a loan limit of 80% of the value of vehicles. This also includes light lorries and other lorry categories, passenger transport vehicles, two-wheeled tractors or trailers, vehicles used for agricultural purposes, and vehicles used for special requirements such as construction. A loan limit of 60% of its value can be obtained for motor vehicles, SUVs and vans. A loan limit of 50% of its value has also been provided for three-wheelers. The amendments issued by the central bank state that a loan limit of 70% of its value can be obtained for other vehicles. This category includes motorbikes that exceed an engine capacity of 100 and below. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka announced the loan facilities provided according to the value of vehicles in the year 2020. Accordingly, a loan limit of 50% was given for motor vehicles, SUVs and vans, and this time it has been increased by 10%. The loan limit of 25% given for three-wheelers has been increased by 25% this time.
Case file.
Colombo magistrate Thanuja Lakmali Jaitunga has ordered that former Minister S.M. Chandrasena be remanded until the 1st of August following his arrest by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. Chandrasena was taken into custody over allegations related to corruption during his tenure in office. The magistrate further directed the Commission to obtain statements from relevant government officials at the village level before the next court date. Presenting a report to the court on the progress of the investigation, investigative officers from the Commission stated that the suspected former minister had allegedly sent his security officers to distribute the maize seed stock to his close associates and had pressured the agrarian officers and officers from the divisional secretariats. Quote,
Your Honor, it has been revealed during the investigation that the suspect has sent his security personnel to distribute the maize seed stock to his close associates and has pressured the officers of agrarian officers and the divisional secretariat to obtain their approval. It has been revealed that he has gone beyond the standard procedure in distributing these seeds and has done so in the manner he desires. The Victims and Witness Protection Authority has assessed the security situation regarding the threats made against the complainant in this case. Arrangements have also been made to provide him with interim security until a final decision is made. Your Honor, statements have been recorded from about 70 employees of the agrarian offices and divisional secretariats in relation to this incident. By granting bail to the suspect at this time, he may exert pressure on the persons who are supposed to obtain those statements. Therefore, I request that the suspect be remanded until the completion of further investigations.
End quote. Representing the suspected former minister, Attorney at Law Chaminda Athukorala presented facts and requested bail. Quote,
Your Honor, all the facts stated by the Bribery Commission regarding my client on the last day of the hearing are false. The Bribery Commission stated during the last hearing that the suspect in this case had assaulted and pressured the complainant. That is completely false. I am submitting the B report from the Anuradhapura court regarding that assault today. My client's name is not mentioned anywhere in that B report. In 2014, there was a severe drought in Anuradhapura. At that time, both maize farmers and paddy farmers were in great difficulty. Therefore, farmers were pressured to provide maize seeds at subsidized prices for cultivation. At that time, my client was acting as the Deputy Minister of Economic Development. He was unable to provide seeds just because the farmers requested them. He forwarded this request to the Ministry Secretary. The Ministry Secretary allocated funds to purchase these seeds only after making proper inquiries from the Anuradhapura District Secretary. The suspect distributed these seeds not only to his supporters, he distributed them to everyone without any party affiliation. He distributed them under the supervision of government officials. Therefore, the Bribery Commission's allegations that he distributed these as he wanted is completely wrong. The remaining maize stocks have been returned. If the suspect distributed them at his own will, would he act in that way? Your Honour, I request that my client be released on bail on any suitable conditions.
End quote. After considering the facts presented, Colombo Magistrate Tanuja Lakmali ordered the suspect to be remanded again.
Case file.
Colombo High Court Judge Lanka ordered that the case filed against former Minister Kehele Rambukwala and 3 others on charges of corruption be taken up again on the 28th of October. When the case was called today, both the prosecution and the defence agreed to proceed based on the evidence already recorded before a previous High Court judge. Accordingly, the judge fixed the next hearing for the 28th of October and issued summons for the witnesses to appear in court on that day. The case filed by the Bribery Commission alleges that the government incurred a loss of nearly 1 million rupees after 600 GI pipes were purchased using funds from the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation for political purposes during the 2015 presidential election. Charges have been filed against former Minister Kehele Rambukwala, former chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation Vimal Rubasinghe, and former Director General Chandrapala Liyanage.
Case file.
The Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption today objected the anticipatory bail application filed by former Minister Rajitha Senaratne before the Colombo Magistrates Court, which sought an order preventing his arrest. The former minister filed the anticipatory bail application on the 14th of July, stating that he was at risk of being arrested in connection with a sand mining project allegedly granted to a Korean company at the Kirinda Fisheries Harbour, resulting in a government loss of over 20 million rupees. When the application was taken up today, Seabok informed the court that it intends to arrest former Minister Senaratne in connection with the incident. The Commission stated that the project, which was legally submitted to the Fisheries Harbour Corporation, had been unlawfully handed over to a foreign company, causing a financial loss to the government exceeding 26.3 million rupees. The suspect, former Minister Rajitha Senaratne, had been summoned by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption to provide a statement. However, the Commission informed the court that he has repeatedly avoided appearing, citing health issues. The Commission requested the court to dismiss the anticipatory bail application, stating that the suspect has been evading both the Commission and the court. After considering the facts presented, the magistrate announced that the anticipatory bail application would be rejected.
සටනේ තොර ජයක් නැහැනේ. ඒකෙන්ද බය වෙන්න එපා.
මේක ඉස්සෙල්ලා කිව්වා ආණ්ඩුව පෙරලනවා. ඇත්තටම පෙරලන්න දාන්න. එක්ක ආර්ථික ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔලුගෙඩි ගානින් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට ඊට වඩා වෙනත් ක්‍රමවේදයක් උතුමාලා තියෙනවා.
දැන් 2015 මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂව පෙරලනකොට මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂට 162ක් හිටියානේ. ආර්ථික ප්‍රශ්නිකුත් ඒ මොහොතේ තිබ්බේ නැහැනේ. හැබැයි අනාගතේ එන ආර්ථික ප්‍රශ්නයට පෙර ඒ අවශ්‍ය කරන ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී අරගලය ආරම්භ කරා. මේ වගේ දේවල් වෙන්න මේ රටේ ජනතාව ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදයේ උදෙසා නැගී සිටිනවා. ඒකින්ද අනාගතයේදී මේ දේශපාලන පරිවර්තන ඔබලාට ඔබලාගේ දැස් ඉදිරිපිටම දැක ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි.
මැතිවරණයක් මෙන්න වෙනවා නේද? ඒතර එහෙම දෙයක්
නෑ මැතිවරණ ඇවිල්ලා නෙමෙයිනේ රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ ජනාධිපති උනේ.
හැබැයි ඔබතුමා තියාන ආවොත් හොඳ නැද්ද?
නෑ එනවා අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම එනවා එනවා වගේම ඉතිහාසයේ විසින් එතුමාව නිදොස් කොට නිදහස් කරයි කියලා එදත් කිව්වා අදත් කියනවා.
Case file.
The Colombo High Court today ordered that the case filed by the Bribery Commission against former Minister Chandrani Bandara on a corruption charge be taken up again on the 28th of July. The case was heard before Colombo High Court Judge Sahan Mapa Bandara. The judge directed that the case be resumed on the 28th to facilitate the handing over of documents requested by the defence. Indictments were filed against her at the Colombo High Court on the 6th of June, alleging that she committed an act of corruption by appointing close associates associates to various positions while serving as the Minister of Women and Children Affairs and Dry Zone Development during the previous Good Governance government.
Case file.
Former Minister Harin Fernando appeared before the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption this afternoon. His statement was recorded in connection with a decision made during the tenure of former Minister of Lands S.M. Chandrasena regarding a specific land-related matter. It is understood that the decision in question was later approved during Harin Fernando's term in office as Minister. Investigators questioned whether former Minister S.M. Chandrasena had requested or exerted any influence on Harin Fernando to approve the said land decision during his time in office.
The Colombo High Court trial at bar has ordered that evidence examination in the case involving the abduction and disappearance of journalist Prageet Eknaligoda will resume on the 29th of August. The case is being heard against former commanding officer of the Giritale Army Camp Shammi Kumararatna and 8 other military officers who have been charged in connection with the incident.
The case was heard before a 3-judge bench comprising Justices Dr. Namal Balale, who presided, to Judge Bench Mahesh Veeraman and Sujiva Nisankar. Recording of evidence related to the petition was conducted under the direction of Deputy Solicitor General Vasantha Pereira at today's hearing. Accordingly, the evidence of Naini Tushara Jayasekara, the wife of a retired army soldier, was also recorded. The Attorney General has filed indictments against the defendants under the Penal Code for the abduction and murder of journalist Prageet Eknaligoda with the intention of secretly imprisoning him in the areas of Giritale, Habarana and Kottava on or about the 25th of January 2010.
Case file.
Meanwhile, former Member of Parliament and Attorney-at-Law Ajit Kumara arrived at the Criminal Investigation Department to provide a statement. This was in relation to a request to initiate an investigation into the abduction of Lalit and Kugan.
On the 10th December 2010, during a media briefing organised by the People's Struggle Movement in the Jaffna district, 2 individuals, Lalit Kumar Veeraraj and Kugan Muruganandan, who were involved in organising the event, were disappeared. One was a human rights activist and the other a political activist. More than 15 years have now passed since their disappearance. Following a renewed complaint related to this disappearance, the Criminal Investigation Department has decided to re-investigate the matter. I was summoned as the person who initially lodged the complaint with the Jaffna Police and the Inspector General of Police at that time. That is why I came today to provide my statement. Lalit and Muruganandan were 2 human rights activists who especially worked to build a bridge between the Tamil and Sinhala people in the north. It is very clear that the government at the time, including the Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Mahinda Rajapaksa administrations, was responsible for their disappearance. A lot of evidence has now come to light regarding this incident. No investigation was ever conducted under the previous administration. That is why we are urging the new government to conduct a proper investigation into these murders.
මේ වෙලාවේ නව රජය අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා අපි ඉල්ලා හිටනවා උන්ගෙන් මේ ඝාතන සම්බන්ධයෙන් පරීක්ෂණ පවත්වන්න කියලා.
MP Dayasiri Jayasekara today responded to a statement made by MP Hector Apuhami, who said that while Jayasekara could engage in politics with the Samagijana Balabegya, he would not be eligible to assume leadership or deputy leadership positions within the party. Responding to reports that parliamentarian Dayasiri Jayasekara may be appointed to a senior position within the Samagijana Balabegya, parliamentarian Hector Apuhami expressed the following views.
Dayasiri can be ready to take up leadership roles everywhere. Why? Is it because we are dark-skinned? Is it because Apuhami is dark-skinned? Apuhami is also someone who helped build this party. So can't we hold a deputy leadership position here? We can. Remember that. That's why people shouldn't think anyone can just walk in and take over positions here. It doesn't work like that. They can come and do politics with us. But doing politics and leading are 2 different things.
Meanwhile, MP Dayasiri Jayasekara responded to MP Apuhami's remarks while speaking in Colombo today.
No, nothing like that at all. I want to be clear. Sajith Premadasa extended an invitation for me to come. and that is all. As for Hector Puhami, he's saying he's suitable for the deputy leader post, and if he's appointed, that's great. He's a very capable leader. So go ahead, appoint people like him. I have no expectations. I am still with the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, and I continue to serve as its General Secretary. The issue is, I've not been allowed to officially enter the premises, and there's a legal case ongoing regarding that. We are in discussions to see if the case can be resolved amicably. I have no intention of joining the SJB formally, but I thank Sajid Premadasa for the invitation. Clearly, when such invitations come up, people like Hector Puhami get rattled.
Convener of the United Citizens Front, Chamira Pereira, commented on the conduct of the opposition.
හරියට නිකන් අර ලාහෙට ගෙම්බෝ හිදිනවා වගේ කොහින් හරි එකෙක්ව ගෙනල්ලා දාන එක නෙමෙයි. ලාහෙට ගෙම්බෝ හිදිනවා කියන එක එක්කන හොයන්න යන්නේ. ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ දේශපාලනය.
The problem is politics. In the recent past, we have been saying that the SJB is not involved in politics anymore. The leader of the SJB is not involved in politics. People need an opposition. People need a political party if they see a vision from that political party. Do you see any such thing from the SJB? What political dimension do you see? Just yesterday or the day before, the Rajapaksa's followers were together. Gammanpila had his arm around him. We also saw him attempting to form a joint opposition together with Namal. Anyone attempting to do politics with the Rajapaksas is heading towards a disaster. Are they political parties? What type of politics can you do with them? Do they have a political vision? A country has to think about an opposition if they see a vision. What is their alternative? Is it a political movement if the followers of Rajapaksa play a game of checkers just like the Rajapaksas? Does it have an opposition? The Samagi Jana Balawegya is no longer a political movement. People don't think about it anymore. It's over.
තවදුරටත් සමගි ජන බලවේගය කියන්නේ දේශපාලන ව්‍යාපාරයක් නෙමෙයි. ඒක ගැන මිනිස්සු හිතන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක ඉවරයි.
News First with the people.
Police have launched an investigation through 4 separate teams into the shooting that took place near the Devala railway station this morning.
A man was injured in a shooting that took place near the Devala railway station at about 11 am today. According to police, the 46-year-old victim was shot by 2 assailants who arrived at the scene on a motorcycle. The incident took place as the individual was returning to his vehicle after visiting a nearby shop. Surveillance footage from a CCTV camera in the vicinity captured the shooting. The injured man, a resident of Vallavatta, was initially admitted to the Kalubovila Teaching Hospital for treatment. He was later transferred to the Colombo National Hospital for further medical treatment. Police confirmed that a pistol was used in the shooting. The motorcycle, believed to have been used by the suspects, was recovered abandoned in the Kasbav area later this afternoon. Preliminary investigations suggest that the incident may be linked to a dispute between organized criminal gangs. Further inquiries are being conducted by 4 police teams assigned to the case.
An elephant was killed early this morning after being struck by a train travelling from Colombo to Batticaloa. The incident occurred in Gallala, Polonnaruwa. A wild elephant was fatally injured in the early hours of this morning after being struck by a train near the Gallala railway station in Sudunelungama in Polonnaruwa. The incident occurred at about 5:30 am when the elephant was hit by a train travelling from Colombo to Batticaloa. According to local residents, the injured elephant, despite sustaining serious injuries to one of its legs, was seen entering the Polonnaruwa Batticaloa main road shortly after the collision. Footage from the scene showed the elephant roaming the area despite its injury. The animal later succumbed to its injuries next to a nearby wall.
කෝච්චිය එනකොට අලියා කලබල වෙලා පයින්නකොට වැදිලා වැටුණා. වැටිලා රූට් එක නැවිලා නැගිටලා විනාඩි 30ක් විතර අපේ ගෙදර පිච්චි ඒත් වෙලා හිටිය අලියා. අලියා කොහමරි පාර එහා පැත්තට පැනලා ලයිට් කණුවක් අල්ලගත්තා. ලයිට් කණුව අල්ලගත්තට අලියට ලයිට් කණුව අහුන්නේ නැහැ. එතනින්දී අලියා බිමට වැටුණා. මේ වැටලා තමයි අලියා මැරුණේ. සෑහෙන කාලයක් ඉඳලා මේ වගේ මහත්ය මේ අලියා විඳ වේදනාව ලෝකේ කිසිම කෙනෙකුට වෙන්න හොඳ නැහැ. ඒ තරම් අලියා වේදනාවක් විඳලා තමයි පාරෙන් එහා පැත්තට ගිහිල්ලා ලයිට් කණුවක් අල්ලගන්න ගිහිල්ලා ලයිට් කණුව අල්ලගන්න බැරුව අලියා වැටිලා මැරුණා. හරිම කනගාටුදායක සිද්ධියක්.
එයා හරි බයයි. මේ තියෙන කෝච්චිය නම් 5:20 කෝච්චිය. ඒකේ ලයිට් එකට සහ ඕන් එකට එයා හරිම බයයි. ඒ බය කියන්නේ එයා දවස් 3ක් ඒ විදිහටම එක දිගටම එනකොට තමයි සද්දෙට පයින්නේ. මොකද වාහනේ කෝච්චිය කොතනද කින්ද කියන එක දන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ පයින් අතරේ එකපාරට මෙයා 4න් 3ක් විතර ඇඟෙන් එළියට දාලා තිබ්බේ. පිටිපස්ස කකුල ගන්න අතරේ කකුල වැදුනා. වැදිච්ච පාරේ එයා කකුල කල්ලා ගියා. ඒපෙන් මෙයා බොහොම අමාරුවෙන් නැගිට්ටේ. අලිය කියන්නේ බොහොම දුකයි. මැරලා ඉන්න හැටි දැක්කාම ඇත්තටම දුකයි. කන්න නැත්තම් ගම් වදින්නේ ඇත්තටම.
The elephant is believed to have been a 9-foot tall male, estimated to be between 30 and 40 years old, and was known to roam the floodplain areas of the Vasgamo National Park.
Minister of Environment Dr. Dhammika Patapandi says that the Ministry of Environment has decided to conduct a fresh study on the country's elephant corridors. He said that the government has decided to remove barriers from 4 elephant corridors this year. These corridors are located in the Polonnaruwa and Anuradhapura districts. The minister noted that work to remove obstructions at the Punani and Hungamalu elephant corridors situated within the Min Area Wildlife Zone is currently in its final stages.
Minister of Agriculture K.D. Lalkantha says that farmers received a fair price for their harvest during the last season.
The second day of the National Paddy Cultivation Programme, aligned with the National Agricultural Framework, was held today at the Batalagoda Rice Research and Development Institute under the patronage of Minister of Agriculture K.D. Lalkantha.
For a long time, agrarian organizations have been saying that the cost of production should be divided into 3 parts, and at the very least, 1/3 of that should be considered the farmer's margin. For example, if the cost of production is 90 rupees, 1/3 would be 30 rupees. Add that on, and the selling price should reflect that. That's the formula suggested by the agrarian organizations. So we looked into it and decided that a fair minimum price for a kilogram of paddy should be 120 rupees. Now we are not setting an official guaranteed price anymore. Such a fixed price currently doesn't exist, but the government will buy paddy at not less than 120 rupees. That doesn't mean the guaranteed price is 120 rupees. We have no issue if the price goes up to 130, 140 or even 150 rupees. That's why during the 2024-25 Maha season, there were no protests from farmers. We completed a season where no one took to the streets saying that there was no price for paddy. In fact, prices went above 120 rupees per kilo. Now the media asks, where is all the paddy purchased by the Paddy Marketing Board? But that's not the point. Our goal wasn't to hold paddy into warehouses. We intervened only to ensure farmers got better prices. We say, don't sell your paddy at unfairly low prices. If someone tries to exploit you, bring it to us. Remember this, in the future we will establish collection centers where even freshly harvested wet paddy can be sold. The 2024-25 Maha season was profitable for farmers. No one can say they made losses this time. There's no such claim anywhere.
The 74th anniversary celebration of the Colombo Plan took place in Colombo. Foreign Minister Vijay Herath said that the government is implementing institutional reforms, enhancing coordination among the police, military and intelligence services, and introducing new legislation to combat drug syndicates.
The 74th anniversary celebration of the Colombo Plan was graced by diplomats, development partners and representatives from member countries.
President Kumar Dissanayake has made it clear that the drug menace is not merely a law enforcement issue but a national emergency. The government is undertaking wide-ranging institutional reforms, enhancing coordination among the police, military and intelligence services, introducing new legislation, leveraging modern technology to disrupt drug syndicates and taking decisive action to eliminate corruption within the prison system. Equally, we are investing in early intervention awareness campaigns and community-based rehabilitation, particularly targeting our youth. Importantly, the President has also called for moral leadership at the community level, engaging temples, schools, and civil society in this collective effort. This holistic approach is essential because the layered impacts of drug use, ranging from health disorders to family breakdown, crime, and economic decline are felt across all segments of society. This is not a challenge a country can tackle alone. We must strengthen prevention through education, invest in counseling and rehabilitation, and adopt more strategic coordinating actions. The Colombo Plan can lead this effort by fostering collaboration, encouraging the exchange of best practices, and supporting the development of strong health and law enforcement systems across the region.
U.S. Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Julie Chung, also spoke at the event.
The U.S. has partnered with the Colombo Plan to invest in human capital through targeted training for Sri Lanka Ports Authority staff, including engineers, port operators, administrative officials, designed to enhance operational efficiency, align port operations with international standards, and prepare the sector for future demands, particularly in cybersecurity and digitalization. So by supporting all of these professional development throughout these sectors to keep Sri Lanka's ports running smoothly, we're not only contributing to the island's economic resilience, but also reinforcing the broader global supply chain, recognizing that manufacturers and retailers rely on the safe and efficient movement of goods through the Port of Colombo.
A seminar on ethical issues arising from emerging trends in biotechnology was held in Colombo today.
The seminar organized by the Ethics Committee of Sri Lanka Association for the Advancement of Science was held in Colombo today.
So you talk of peace research. You have a research priority is for peace. Peaceful conflict resolution, use of things for peace. So even if you are doing research, applied research, what are the peaceful aspects which can come out of this research? So emphasis is different. Then we have to come up with some rules or guides for ethics. Now, for example, in the medical field, we use the 4 principles of non-maleficence, beneficence, autonomy, and justice. Maybe add a few more like truthfulness, transparency, and trust, building of trust, and so on. So you develop a code of ethical principles which we can use as a guide. Raise awareness. We have to tell people. Now, even about the exploitation of our genetic resources, yes. But there are other things also we'll have to now raise awareness of. Especially because we are now facing a new threat. Some of us would be dead and gone, but there will be a future generation which will have to contend with it.
Our knowledge that we gain, actually my generation and few before, few after, have done wonders in this world. But every technology has ended up in a WMD, weapon of mass destruction. We understood what happened in the sun. We understood nuclear fission, nuclear fusion. What did we do? We produced a hydrogen bomb and the atomic bomb. Please visit the Hiroshima Museum. You will see the destruction yourself. Millions of innocent people died, destroyed. With this knowledge,
the seminar brought together experts and stakeholders to address the pressing need for clear ethical frameworks to guide emerging biotechnologies.
Renowned South Indian playback singer Duraisamy Srinivas and his daughter Saranya Srinivas arrived in Sri Lanka today. Renowned South Indian playback singer Srinivas and his team arrived at Fox Resorts Jaffna today. They received a grand welcome upon their arrival. Srinivas live in concert Jaffna is scheduled to take place tomorrow at 6 p.m. at the Jaffna Thiruvalluvar Cultural Centre. Organised by the students of the University of Jaffna, the objective of the concert is to raise funds for the purchase of a bus to the university.
யாழ்ப்பாணம்ங்கிறது எல்லா தமிழர்களுக்கும் ரொம்ப ஸ்பெஷலான ஒரு இடம்னு எல்லாருக்குமே தெரியும்.
Everyone knows Jaffna is a special place for all Tamils. In 2015, Shakti TV invited me here for a big concert in Manipai, aimed at raising funds to purchase a bus for the Jaffna medical faculty. The welcome I received in Sri Lanka isn't new. Even back then, I performed many shows with Shakti TV in 1998, 1999, 2000 and up to 2005. The love and support I receive remains the same. Tamils across the world offer us and all artists the same warmth and support.
ஈழத்தமிழர்கள் உலகம் ஃபுல்லா இருக்கிறது அதே அன்பு ஆதரவும் தான் எங்களுக்கு கொடுக்கறாங்க. எனக்கு மட்டும் இல்ல எல்லா கலைஞர்களுக்கும். செம்மாதுளை வாய்மொழி சொல்லாயோ ஏ மாண்புரு மங்கையே.
Shakti TV and Shakti FM are the official media sponsors of Srinivas live in concert Jaffna.
A memorandum of understanding was signed between APIT Sri Lanka and HTMI Switzerland in Colombo.
APIT Sri Lanka signed a memorandum of understanding with the Hotel and Tourism Management Institute, Switzerland, to expand education in hospitality and tourism. This partnership aims to expand opportunities for students and enhance their skills and global exposure in the hospitality and tourism industry. The event was attended by Dr. Siri Walt, Ambassador of Switzerland to Sri Lanka, along with other diplomats and dignitaries.
US President Donald Trump was found to have chronic venous insufficiency, a condition common in older adults that causes blood to pool in their veins. This diagnosis came after Trump was checked for a mild swelling in his lower legs.
According to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, the condition common in older adults occurs when little valves inside the veins that normally help move blood against gravity gradually lose the ability to work properly. The White House Medical Unit's testing, according to Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, revealed that Trump had chronic venous insufficiency, a condition in which the tiny valves inside the veins that ordinarily assist in moving blood against gravity eventually lose their capacity to function properly. The press secretary also addressed bruising on the back of Trump's hand, seen in recent photos covered by makeup that was not an exact match to his skin tone, saying the bruising was consistent with irritation from his frequent hand shaking and the use of aspirin. According to Leavitt, the disclosure of Trump's medical checkup was meant to dispel recent speculation about the 79-year-old president's health. Leavitt did not say when Trump, who is on aspirin medication to reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke, first noticed the swelling in his lower legs.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Primetime News on TV1.
Thank you for joining us. Good night.